This is Rock That Doesn't Roll, the story of Christian music. I'm Andrew Gill, a music journalist who grew up listening to Christian rock.
And I'm Leah Payne, author of God Gave Rock and Roll to You, a history of contemporary Christian music.
And this is the most storied tradition in the lore of Rock That Doesn't Roll, because this is our third annual Christmas special. This is one of the few places where I dispense with the common decency of being inclusive in my holiday greetings and just say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we can just drop the pretense there, because if it's CCM, Christ is in Christmas.
We can just let our inner Gaithers out and let them breathe.
Oh my gosh.
So stick around. We'll have some special guests, some picks from listeners, and recommended Christmas songs, all coming up on the Rock That Doesn't Roll Christmas special.
Rock That Doesn't Roll. Doesn't roll.
Leah, it's been a few weeks since we wrapped up season 3 of the podcast. Actually, our last episode was ill-fated because Leah got stuck in traffic and couldn't make it. So
that was the absolute worst.
Been even longer since I spoke with you. So how are things going, Leah?
I'm wrapping up the end of the semester, which is always just total chaos. And I know you're in a clergy household. This is like the most wonderful time of year in terms of lots to do, right? For you.
Lots to do. Yes, exactly. It's, there's no time for anything. And then I saw a week or so ago that not only that, but you are creating a new degree program at your university. Like, what the heck?
Oh, yeah. It's been crazy. It's a doctor of ministry, demon, which is kind of fun to say. My sister used to think it was a demon class, and she was like, nice, I'm taking that class.
Demonology. It's like
demon.
Yeah. It's real Da Vinci
in faith
Code
and cultural engagement. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly. We're doing a Da Vinci Code degree now.
And a Carmen class.
Carmen
class too.
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, if anyone would let me do that, I would go crazy with it. But no, it's about faith and cultural engagement. But yeah, it's been a lot, and I'm super excited to be talking with you and with our guests, because this is just like, I don't know. I treasure our Christmas special now, the third year in a row. But how are things going for you? I just saw that you were a source for a story that came out.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, in the Washington Post. That was a first for me. You've done it many times, Leah. You get called on as an expert frequently. But this is the first time anyone has called me and said, can you talk to me about a topic because you're an expert on it? So I don't know if you guys have seen the viral clips of this priest who's a DJ who had Pope Leo recorded a message to introduce one of his sets in Slovenia. And I think a lot of people got confused that Pope Leo was throwing a rave himself, but that wasn't the case. But yeah, I spoke with the reporter from the Washington Post about, the history of Christians using pop music. And I was probably way over my skis because it was talking about Catholic stuff, and I've never been Catholic, but I'm married to someone with a graduate degree in Catholic theology, but I've only picked it up as a spectator. So anyways,
but you're an esteemed music journalist.
Sure.
So
yeah. Unfortunately,
from that platform.
I had just gone to the Sing Along Sound of Music a day or two before that, and so I just talked about the sound of music as much as I could. So that
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Well, and then I quoted David Dark when we were talking, and then she also just did an interview with David Dark. So that was nice. So
that's
awesome.
To the pod. I love it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and introduce our guests. They're patiently waiting here in our Zoom. I'll go first to Kelsey Kramer McGinnis, one of our most popular repeat guests, and bringing the festive Christmas spirit today. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you so much
Kelsey.
for having me and giving me the opportunity to wear the Santa hat that is actually falling apart. I don't know if you can see that my kids have like made a hole in the end of it and they've like been pulling the fuzz out. So this may be its last appearance.
Of course they have.
You look so good. I'm really regretting not wearing my Christmas outfit. So I love it.
Had to.
Thank you,
Had
Kelsey.
to. It's finals week. I need it. I have a vest that has bells on it. I mean, it's like,
Yep.
So, Kelsey, I saw a post you made the other day on social media that I thought would make like a nice little icebreaker for our holiday gathering, which is those moments that you've experienced music that could only ever happen in a church. Can you describe the one that you shared? Or if you've got another better example, go for that.
Okay, so I do have one in my brain, and I wanted to do a Christmas-related one. So, because I was having a hard time picking which Christmas songs to talk about for this show, because there are too many. So, there is an Avalon Christmas album that I think it's called Joy. It came out in, I think, 1998, maybe 1999. And the title track on that song is called Joy, and it's like a dance, kind of clubby original. And at my little evangelical church in the early 2000s, there was a group of singers that really wanted to do that song. And as one does, like they wanted to do it as like a special music during the Christmas season. With a cassette track, as one did at the time.
Yes.
But okay, I'm going to try to describe this in the best way I can. But this song has no introduction. It basically has a split-second like sound that goes up, and then like the choir of voices just like comes in singing. It's a quartet. Avalon is like a pop vocal quartet, like adult contemporary. Anyway, they really wanted to do this song, but the problem is even like the track has no introduction. It just has that split-second sound. And so I have this very vivid memory of watching this group of adults rehearsing this song over and over and trying to hit, because it like comes in loud too. There's like that split second and then it's like joy. They're all yelling joy. And I remember watching them practice trying to hit that over and over again. You can't, like, of course you can't. But like, they did it anyway. They did it anyway. They did it as the special music, and it was fine and corny and like all the best, like, early 2000s special music in your evangelical Iowa church could be, lovely. They're all wearing Christmas sweaters. But I have very distinct memories of watching that, and I was very devoted to this Christmas album. It's a regular at my house, so I knew it, and I just remember watching and thinking, this is so bad. I was like 12 years old, like mad about it. So only in church, but like the kind of like anti-polish that I like have developed a very warm love and affection for in these times of AI generated Christmas music. Like bring back
Yes.
Bring back the amateur vocalists singing over the tracks. I'm here for it.
I had an experience like this at last Saturday. I was at a Lessons and Carols at a church in Chicago that is the host of the Chicago Recorder Society. So it's adults. Recorders aren't just for fourth graders. They're also for, highly qualified medieval music specialists.
Yes.
But there were 10. The thing is, though, so there was an ensemble of 10 recorders, different sizes and different makes and whatnot. It does not matter what you do or how good you are. You cannot get 10 recorders to all be perfectly in tune.
No, you cannot.
It's part of the sound, I guess. It's charming in its own way. But like, how many people have listened to 10 recorders play multiple Advent songs, all together? Not a lot, I bet. I bet none of you have. Any of you heard 10 people play recorders all together? Not children, not fourth graders.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah. Let's introduce our final guest. It's a guy I've met a couple times. He's my brother, Daniel Gill. Welcome back to the show, Daniel.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. I love Christmas music, and I don't necessarily know a lot of CCM Christmas music, but I'm going to try my best today.
But here's the thing: is all Christmas music qualifies? You know, if it's about Christmas, if it's about Christmas, then it counts. You know,
that's kind of the point of the songs that I picked, actually.
Yeah, nice, very good. Do you remember any really weird, unique moments of music that you would never experience anywhere but a church from?
Well, I was thinking about this prompt, and so if anyone doesn't know yet, our dad was a Methodist minister, so that meant a lot of times we would get dragged into working the soundboard at church, or we were at mostly small churches in Florida. And we were heavily involved with the music side, either youth choir, or I would run the sound for service or whatever. So a lot of times it would be like, well, the people who were supposed to do the music tonight are sick. So tonight it's going to be Daniel, it's going to be me on the banjo and you on the bass. Or something
I love
like
that.
So we would find ourselves in a lot of weird, awkward instrumentation combos that you would not usually dream up as an ideal situation. And Andrew was part of. Yeah,
sometimes
Andrew
it would be
was
like
part of that too.
Me with a little like fuzz electric guitar, and Dad with a banjo or something. Yeah, things that did not make a lot of sense.
But that was the best example I could think of.
Kelsey, do you come from a pastor's family or
worship leader family?
Worship leader. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I'm a pastor's kid as well, but a totally different style of church. And I was trying to think of like my one Christmas moment. And the thing that comes to mind is I was in this kids group, at Sunnyside Foursquare Church, and it was called the Bebop Kids when I was like maybe like 4th or 5th grade. That must have been 5th grade.
Heavily inspired by Charlie Parker.
Oh yeah, heavily, as you could imagine. No, we did a version of David Meese's "We Are the Reason."
Oh yeah.
Around Christmas time, which, by the way, I still am moved to tears when I hear some of those like chords and him singing. The thing about David Meese though is he's has an incredible range. So the song starts like, as little children we would dream of Christmas morning, and then it goes like way up.
He is my reason to live.
And we used to have a track, Kelsey. This is what made me think of this one, is that we used to have like a track to it, but for some reason, one of the times we were doing it, the track, it wasn't working. And so we had to do it a cappella. But the thing about that song is it's actually quite difficult to sing. And there were also, it was Pentecostal. So we're not just singing, we're also reenacting things. And there were signers, people doing sign language. Who knows if it was right, but they kept changing the key because the chorus, "We are the reason," it just kept getting higher and higher and higher. And then it was like we had to start over again and go low. It was a very long version of "We Are the Reason." We got through it though, because the show must go on, and Pentecostals are nothing if not show people. So anyway, that's my special Christmas memory.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, the Bebop Kids. I'm sure there's like 2 or 3 out there who remember that. Still, I could probably do the whole thing right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bebop Kids for Jesus was our thing at the end.
But for Jesus is important.
You're just not bebopping around for anybody. It's for Jesus. Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't Bebop Kids for him. That seems like it would be a little bit.
Yeah.
It would have been if I were a little younger, I think, when the for him. Yeah. But we were just for Jesus. Yeah, you got to get specific about it, just in case someone could be mistaken. Anyway, that's my Christmas story.
Nice.
Rock that doesn't roll. Doesn't roll.
We have special guests joining us today, as well as voicemails from listeners with their picks that we'll hear throughout the episode.
Hey guys, we just want to say first off, I love the show. Appreciate you guys and all the hard work you do. It's a fantastic listen. It's a very, very fun, important podcast. My nomination for Outstanding Christmas Song is Amy Grant's 1983 powerhouse masterpiece, Emmanuel. It's everything that is right with 1983, the synths, that kind of dark opening with the synths, and then that incredibly 80s snare pop, and then it just drops into this fantastic groove, the wonderful counselor part. Just love the song, love everything about it. Makes me happy every December when I listen to it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate the show, and Merry Christmas. God bless.
So in our tradition of holiday specials, the first couple were just me and Leah. And so, we were I was worried about like keeping people's interest, So we cooked up fake award names to give out to each song that we introduced. So Kelsey and Daniel, I didn't tell you to prep any fake award names. I haven't prepped any myself, but if something comes to mind, we'll attribute that to the Holy Spirit and consider it divinely inspired. But Leah, do you have a pick that you want to share with us? And do you have an award name for it or no?
I do. I came weirdly, that's the one way I came prepared today. This is the peak CCM Christmas song, in my opinion. I'm going to give it to the CCMist Christmas song. And it's one that is, I think, not that well known, but if you know it, it like hits all of the marks. And it's a song by Point of Grace from 1999 called One King. I don't know if you know this one, Kelsey. You're nodding your head, but it's like the songwriting. It's this kind of like it's about surprise, the kings, the wise men, and the way that it all unfolds is like so comforting and predictable. The way a CCM song should be, or was designed to be. And it also includes like kind of some key changes and a little like nod to God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. It is a very CCM song. So I submit this as, of all the songs that we hear today, I'm going to argue it will be the CCMist.
One king held the frankincense. One king
Second king. Okay, wait, ready? So now you have three kings.
One king held the
But wait a minute.
and one king held the
Wait a second, that's four.
The King of Kings.
Oh.
You see? That's what made this is like such a CCM song.
New voice.
He changed.
Different voice.
Yeah. So I submit this. I mean, I know that you and your brother are going to bring critically acclaimed stuff but my contribution is the CCMist of the stuff.
Seeing the cover art, I feel like maybe our mom had this
Oh,
cassette.
definitely. I'm sure she had this. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Probably.
she was
I love it.
firmly committed to the Preacher's Wife soundtrack with Whitney Houston.
Oh,
Who
that's
isn't?
just
Everyone is
excellent.
Yeah,
everyone
right.
is.
Yeah.
But then
That's
in
no, there's no
between-
shame in that.
Yeah. So wait, can we give the bio on Point of Grace? Who are these people? Are they Nashville, just kind of industry people, or?
Oh yeah, I think of Point of Grace as like the ultimate girl group in the early 90s. They're very much like in the church music. Like Avalon was mixed gender, but Point of Grace was 4 female artists. and or I mean three.
It looks like four in the
there are
picture.
four.
There's-
Yeah, there are four. And when I think of the kind of like in the book I wrote about, there's like certain streams of like kind of talent streams, and they're like the kind of Baptisty Southern like kind of the stream. There's there's Pentecostals, there's Holiness people, and there's Baptists, and they are I can't think of another group that had more influence. They're kind of like Wilson Phillips for
yes.
For Christian girls.
There we go.
Do you remember Point of Grace, Kelsey?
Oh, do I? Of course. Yeah, I had a singer mom. Yes, of course. We had.
They went on the Women of Faith tour.
They had their own spin-off. They tried for a while to do a spin-off Women of Faith conference called Girls of Grace that was like aimed at the younger generation, and Point of Grace was a headliner of that. There was
Sponsored
the big
by
song
Brio.
was Circle of Friends.
Circle of Friends.
Oh yeah. They ended up partnering with Thomas Nelson. It was a really, really hugely successful kind of publishing brand as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, I think of Point of Grace as they're the CCMist in my mind. So if that could be a thing.
They're truly peak CC. I mean, so much so that like my little Iowa Evangelical Church had a group of women that formed their own like knockoff of Point of Grace that would regularly perform Point of Grace songs at like a special music and at like church picnics, and like bring the boombox. I mean, like, and it would always be a Point of Grace song,
Wow.
That is okay. Another one of their big ones was, I think it was Blue Skies. So they all the, because like the kind of the tight songwriting, the very polished vocals, the key changes, and also like they inspire so many. I'm gonna guess like they make it sound easy, but actually that's really difficult work that they're doing. And I find, Kelsey, I'm with you, I find it so heartwarming thinking about the thousands of church ladies who were trying to pull that off and absolutely could not, because this is actually it's hard to do.
It's actually very hard.
So,
and the original four members, I think they still exist, but I think they've maybe dropped down to 3 members now. But like the original 4 members, one of them, I cannot remember which one, I used to know their names, had this like incredible alto range. When you would hear some poor woman try that in real time, you're like, oh, that's a low E. I'm so sorry.
That's right.
It's not working out.
No, it's hard. And she's like grinding it out down there too on these recordings. That's a good pick, Leah.
Yes, thank you, Leah.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. All right. So I want to share my pick. The award I will give it is the perfect Christmas song for this exact moment in history right now. Because actually, I couldn't think of any song to add this year until yesterday or the day before. We're recording this on December 12th. And I saw yesterday that the legendary British labor activist and musician Billy Bragg has recorded a brand new Christmas song called Put Christ Back into Christmas. He is out Christianing the religious nationalists that are trying to take over England right now. Today is December 12th. On December 13th, this group, led by a guy who calls himself Tommy Robinson or something like that, are having a big hymn sing in London to put Christ back into Christmas. And
fascinating.
Billy Bragg is having none of it, and neither is the Church of England or a big coalition of mainline churches. And so he has recorded this song, which is called Put Christ Back into Christmas. And so I just wanted to play some of it because, this literally is not on Spotify. It's like he's only published it 24 hours ago, I believe. So here you go, a little Billy Bragg.
Put Christ back into Christmas, the season of goodwill. peace on earth for everyone, so let the bombs be still. Let the guns fall silent, let the hungry be fed, and let the tyrants of the world lie uneasy in their beds. You want Christ back in Christmas.
Lyrics heavily inspired by the Magnificat, of course.
Yeah,
And
that's
live your
beautiful.
life in selfishness as if you've never heard.
It does go
The
on like this.
Samaritan who stops
I-
to help the
He
stranger
hits the refugees,
dressed in
murdered the
rags,
innocents.
and you pay lip service to
There you go.
the
Thank you,
one
Billy
with
Bragg. I
the
thought I
pin,
would
a
have nothing to share, but
flag.
he just wrote the perfect
Won't
song.
ask you what you've done.
So-
He got his
Just poor
fascist. He got the word fascist into a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
And-
It sounds like it almost sounds like he made a bet with somebody, like that he could do it. I didn't know about this rally and counter rally. I'm going to be watching that with great interest.
Yeah, by the time we publish this, it will have already happened. So hopefully it goes smoothly and there's no violence or anything like that. But yeah, there are 2 rallies happening in London on Saturday, December 13th. One is the Billy Bragg rally. One is the Christian nationalist rally. So, but they are going to be confusing because they're both putting Christ back into Christmas. So it's like, you know, a very punk move to just like reclaim all of that.
Right.
Totally.
I'm so fascinated by this exporting of put Christ back in Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Am I correct in assuming that's a kind of like American thing that, right? Like that's sort of an American culture war thing, or does that have roots elsewhere?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you remember that, Daniel, from the 80s, right? 90s and
Yeah.
80s.
sure.
Yeah. It's kind of like the far right Brits are sort of CCMing us a little bit because they're like a couple decades later, they're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put Christ back into Christmas. I don't know. Maybe that was going on in the UK before. We're probably going to get a strongly worded email now, like shows how much I know. But that would make me laugh a little bit if it was like,
it's like they looked over here and they're like, you know who had a point? The moral majority of the 1980s. They had a point.
Yeah. They're like, knock it off with all those season's greetings, you guys. Yeah.
It's very much just like play the hits kind of mode, you know, like let's go. If it was good in the 80s, try it now, you know. Maybe it'll work. And, you know, just for listeners who might not be familiar with Billy Bragg, like his biggest hit song was Sexuality, which just put him off, you know, like all Christian listeners of the 80s were like, well, that guy's clearly outside the church, you know, move him away. But I was reading up to see what his religious background is, and he, you know, grew up with a Catholic mother, and, you know, as an interview I was reading with him from 22 years ago, he was, you know, talking a lot about, you know, just how, you know, socialism and Jesus's message line up pretty neatly. But of course, you know, as most musicians, or as many musicians are wont to do, they reject organized religion. They don't have much space for that. But anyways, yeah. So that was my pick. And yeah, thank you, Billy Bragg, for coming through at the last minute.
Rock that doesn't roll. Doesn't roll.
Hi all, this is Russ calling about the Christmas special. This is a very difficult question, but my top song is probably Alexander O'Neal's Our First Christmas, and potentially tied with most of the tracks done by Kylie Minogue on any of her Christmas albums. But if we're sticking in the CCM realm, I'm going to pick Vigilantes of Love on to Bethlehem, which is off the 1999 album Cross the Big Pond.
It's cold in here, but that's nothing new. My heart's electric with your love again. So it's on to Bethlehem, on to Bethlehem. might surmise that I ran there, but I really only crept.
Of course, and I still follow Bill Melanie to this day, so big place in my heart, and has a great atmosphere and spirit of melancholy, but also that Midwestern warmth to it. So thanks so much, and happy holidays to y'all.
Let's go to our guests. Kelsey, do you have a pick for us? And have you been struck with an award to give it?
So I do have one. And now I'm realizing I should have checked, because I'm sure that you guys have talked about this in a previous Christmas special of this
it's
show.
It's going to have a unique spin from your
You'll bring your
well.
own insights.
I mean, maybe this one is like real low hanging fruit, but I couldn't help myself. I was like, if I have to pick one to talk about, this is the one I'm going to talk about, because it has sort of personal significance, and also it's just like, I mean, I'm not going to take the most CCM Christians or Christmas song. I'm not going to take that from Point of Grace. I think that is justly given. So I'm trying to think of an alternative. And I'm trying to think of an award name that's something along the lines of secular schmecular or most Christian radio, something. Anyway, it is Amy Grant's Grown Up Christmas List from her her 1992-1993 album Home for Christmas, which was her second Christmas album. And I chose this song for a number of reasons. So, first of all, she is not the originator of this song. This is a David Foster song that he wrote and originally recorded with Natalie Cole in, I think, 1989. So, a couple years before. Amy Grant popularized it, I think it's fair to say. David Foster is sort of like a big-time adult contemporary songwriter. He wrote a lot of, like, Josh Groban's early stuff, that kind of thing.
His wife was one of the Real Housewives, I think, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, maybe? I think so.
Well, because he's now married to Catherine McPhee.
Oh, yeah.
American Idol.
Yes.
Yeah,
American Idol.
But no, from like one of the first seasons of Real Housewives, I think he was still married or maybe maybe just recently
I did not
divorced.
know that.
Anyways.
Interesting. So he's like a big time kind of American songwriter guy. So this was one of his songs. Amy Grant recorded it as a single in 1992. She wrote a new verse for it with his blessing. Reportedly, I don't know if this is true. Well, she told this story. She says that he was so happy with the verse that she added that he offered her a songwriting credit on the song, which she said no to, according to her.
Because she doesn't like money, I guess.
Or because she has enough money.
She doesn't need it.
Because she has enough, I don't know. So anyway, this is a like quintessential 90s Christmas song. This whole album is like the soundtrack of my childhood. And I do mean like my whole childhood, not just at Christmas time. Like this album looms so large in my like musical memory. I don't know that there's another album that looms as large. I think the combination of like the sentimental memories of Christmas and how much we listened to this album. And one reason why we listen to this album so much is I mentioned I have a singer, worship leader mother who had the piano and vocal music book that went along with this album, as well as multiple of the vocal tracks. And I have many memories of her performing songs from this. We were at a big SBC megachurch in North Carolina at the time. This was before we moved to Iowa. And she would perform these songs at like shopping malls. And one of my most vivid memories of her is wearing this sequined purple gown and performing Grown Up Christmas List on like a local TV station in Raleigh, North Carolina, and thinking to myself, my mom is a pop star. Like, I mean, it was like the biggest, it was the most glamorous big deal thing I could imagine. And it was this song, and I will never forget that. And I mean, it's still like a Christmas radio staple. You hear it all the time. It does this thing that Amy Grant does so well, which is like skirt the line between Christian song and not. Like we're talking about making a Christmas list and sending it. Who are we sending it to? Right? Like, are we sending this to Santa? Are we sending it to Jesus? Or like what? Who is this for? It just kind of.
Are you like giving it to your spouse?
Right. Right. It glosses over some things. It's very touching and sweet. Of all the songs on this album, so this album was recorded with the London Studio Orchestra. So a lot of it is like with live strings, and in contrast to her first Christmas album, which was very like synthesizer heavy and feels very 80s. You listen to this one, you're like, this is very cinematic. But this one feels like she's sort of pulling it into the pop world because it's a lot more synthy and kind of feels very 90s radio. So that is my pick.
All right. I wonder, this just popped into my mind, but remember the Steve Martin sketch on SNL with his wish for Christmas?
Yes.
And then he just keeps, I wonder if David Foster maybe originally was inspired
That's funny.
in response to that. I don't know.
Kelsey, did you guys listen to Christmas music in your house year round then?
I mean, like, I want to say starting in October, like early October.
Okay.
And maybe I'm just
That's a little early.
maybe I'm misremembering that because I just am so attached to this, but man.
But if you're in a worship leader home, you got to be thinking about that stuff weeks in advance, like weeks before
True.
Gen Pop
Mhm.
listeners.
Yeah.
True.
As children we believed the grandest sight to see was something.
Those ringlets. Perfect ringlets. I'm watching the video and her hair is remarkable. I don't know which of these kids is hers, but one of the
And so
kids
one of these
featured
is really-
here is her, I think her oldest.
Can never heal a hurting human soul. No more.
It's like a regular Benetton ad in there too. You know, they've got the perfect DEI distribution,
Right?
you know, of kids. So. Who do you think did the set dressing for this? Because this,
Martha
this-
Stewart.
holy cow, yeah. I mean, and this is post Baby, or
This
Or
is
was this-
post Baby. That was
Okay,
91,
so
I
she was-
think.
she was fully crossover star at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She does look like as glamorous as I've ever seen her look. You know?
Right?
Like
Yeah.
she,
This is her in peak,
yeah,
like crossover powers.
right.
Yeah.
She is so beautiful.
Yes.
But like
Ridiculous.
the level of like
Yes. Just gorgeous.
the esthetician that worked on this video is like probably the most, you know, the highest level person that she worked with in her whole career.
Yeah, that glam is an achievement, I have
Yes.
to say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
and
stunning.
it's funny. My husband was asking me. We were listening to both of her early Christmas albums, and he was sort of like, "Why did she do another Christmas album so close to the other one?" And I had to remind him, like, that was pre Baby. Like, they needed to
Right.
do another one after her like break because people weren't going to go back and listen to that first one. And that first one, I almost included a song off of that first one because that first one is a lot quirkier. It's got some really interesting decisions. This one is like peak 90s shopping mall nostalgia, sentimentality,
Oh, yeah.
but also like gorgeous orchestration and instrumentation. It's lovely.
Also, I think she just really likes Christmas.
Yes.
Like, because every year she and Michael W. Smith do their Christmas tour. So I think it might be something about her too.
Yeah.
Like she,
Yeah.
And her thing
Yeah,
at the Ryman, and you know, of course, the whole Tiny Desk concert that, you know, sparked this entire podcast was all Christmas themed. So Amy is like the queen of Christmas, is what I was told
Yes.
when I, you know, was upset about that. But all right, thank you very much, Kelsey, for your pick.
Hi, this is Phil in central Pennsylvania. Just wanting to suggest one of my favorite Christmas songs that I used to play on my radio show when I had it years ago, the Spivvies, and There's No Christmas on the Moon. Although they probably need to revise that now with the song There's No Christmas on Mars.
And I won't be seeing Santa Claus real soon. 'Cause Santa, he don't got a spacesuit. 'Cause there's no Christmas on the moon. Go, go! doesn't roll. Doesn't roll.
Hey, this is Jimmy. I hate Christmas music. So I made a playlist of Christmas music that I love. I like it because it makes people do weird stuff. Either just make the worst music ever, or make some of the strangest or even most beautiful music ever. In the more stranger category, the Ukrainian Bell Carol by Lord of the Yum Yum. That's wonderful. And in the extra beautiful category, Joy, I've Been Waiting by a local Oregon band here called Tents, T-E-N-T-S. It's a delight.
If there's just one idea on which the whole thing relies, it's the presence of hope in the darkest nights, in the empty branches, in heartbreak and tears, and on the winter solstice, God is near. Joy, 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 coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. I'll be waiting.
And actually, my 22-year-old daughter would be upset if I didn't tell you her favorite, which is Santa Mouse, the Bob Morrison version.
Who's a little friend on Santa's shoulder? Santa Mouse. Who is it we look for when it's colder? Santa Mouse. He's the one who once was just a mouse without a name, till he did a deed so very kind when Christmas came.
Okay, thanks.
And now let's turn to Daniel Gill. You have like all kinds of playlists that are far too long to listen to the entire thing, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour. And so you have many of these related to Christmas music. Were you able to narrow down any picks off of those?
It was very tough, but I mean, my main Christmas playlist is like 23 hours, 18 minutes, 23 hours, 18 minutes. It would take you a whole day of doing nothing but listening to that to make it through the whole thing. But the idea is to put it on shuffle and just play whatever comes up. It's so many songs. It's kind of fun to just, I put it on in the car and just, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah. There's so many songs. But to try to keep loosely into the theme of this podcast, I picked 2 songs that are very old, and they're not really from Christian artists per se, but they are like the first one I will do is The Free Design. The song came out in 1968, and I thought I would give this the award of, in an alternate timeline, this artist could have been Larry Norman. This artist could have been the first Christian contemporary artist if they had been marketed differently at the time, because the Free Design was a family group from New York, and they were kind of in the sort of easy listening, somewhere between like Mamas and the Papas and like Peter, Paul, and Mary, but they never actually had commercial success at the time. They were kind of like lost to the obscure, budget bins. Their records were just like, forgotten about. And then in the 90s, a bunch of bands like Stereolab and Cornelius and people like that started saying that they were cool and a big influence on them. And then they got the reissue treatment from like very legit reissue labels all over the world. And people started saying, hey, these records are actually really good. And they have an album that is literally called You Could Be Born Again. They were all very Christian, and I think if they had, somehow found their way into like the right marketing person, they could have been marketed as a Christian group, but they were not. They were just sort of marketed as a easy listening group, pop vocal group.
They heavily influence like a lot of Stereolab music, like the layered vocals of Stereolab are very reminiscent of the Free Design.
So the song, they don't have a Christmas album, but this You Could Be Born Again album has 2 Christmas songs kind of tagged on to the end of it. And my pick is called Close Your Mouth, It's Christmas. It's very like family values kind of a direction in the lyrics.
Put your big bag back in the drawer. Bring your mind and body back from the store. Get to know the people in your house.
Get to know the people in your house.
Christmas means a million magic things to those who try to let it be its magic self and not offended by. Sit down and sing a happy song and whistle on your tooth and be still enough to hear the reindeer on
Whoa, I like this. I just started rewatching Mad Men, and this is like Mad Men Christmas vibes for me.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, for
I am
sure.
so here for it. For the horns and stuff. Like, oh man, I just love it.
They were a sibling group, and then I guess like their dad would help them with the arrangements and the horns, and they had an uncle who was also a horn player, and it was a very much like a family thing. But yeah, they didn't really, have a hit song, in their first run. But then like I said, the records all kind of came back in the 90s, early 2000s, and they became known as like the very influential to a certain subset of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's inspiring is that like all the musicianship is so tight. It's like they're singing all the correct notes and like not, it's very well orchestrated for people who are sort of like not using all the resources of the music industry to make this.
Yeah.
But
They
it
weren't
is funny. So go ahead.
I was going to say, it wasn't exactly like outsider music. It was like meant to be like pop music. It was meant to be like elevator music or whatever,
Yeah. And they had people that were like professional that were working on it, but they happened to be all in one family, it seems.
That's the story I've heard.
Yeah.
They've got those like family harmonies, like that.
Yeah, the blood
nobody
harmony.
can do it like siblings, and I love that. That's fantastic.
Totally.
I was gonna say the way you framed the award that you were giving it, just I love to think about possible alternate histories, like because 68 Up With People was going on. Larry Norman was doing his first work with his group People, a different group than Up With People, but if one of these other styles had like hit big, the whole trajectory could have been 4 degrees different, or well, if it was the Free Design, it would have been about 90 degrees different. But it's just funny to think about how things develop and how much happenstance just plays into it.
Yeah, I mean, like if they had been in Chicago instead of New York, or come across the Jesus People or whatever, the whole thing would have been different, and they would have been considered the first Christian contemporary group.
Right.
But that's not what happened.
Yeah. Let's hear some more listener calls and their picks for their favorite Christmas songs.
Hi, I'm Justine Johnson. I am in Iowa, and I grew up listening to a very limited amount of Christian music because, well, we just had K-Love. But I did get to this point where I started seeking out my own music in high school, and I stumbled across a bunch of Christian music compilations through a website called Indie Vision Music. Around the holidays, they would post a bunch of news stories talking about all the different Christian compilations for Christmas music. And one of those was for the Slow Speak Records label. One of the songs on their Slow Speak Christmas compilation that I think they only did a couple of different years was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Golden Youth, which is a band that doesn't exist anymore. You can barely find the music anywhere. But that song, for being such a simple song within like the Christmas music catalog, the way it was done was so, it felt like twinkly Christmas lights blinking on and off when I listened to it. And I would play it at night to calm down, to go to sleep during my very anxious college years. And I still go back to that song today. Golden Youth, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Here we are.
Can I give a plug for another one?
Yeah, of course.
Again, another album that you probably have talked about here, but this is for my fellow millennial youth group kids who need to revisit the Reliant K Merry Christmas album, which holds up. It's a great album, but
I did listen through it, like trying to see if there was like one hidden song that spoke to me, but I did not unearth the one for me. But what is the one for you on that one?
So I will just say, if you are someone who like fondly remembers pop punk of the early 2000s, go and listen with fresh ears to their arrangement of the 12 Days of Christmas, because if I had to teach a class where we were going to talk about the different like style conventions of pop punk, I would use that song to teach it, because they go through so many different like drum patterns, strum patterns, grooves, like shout choruses, like all of these little different tropes of the genre. You could teach a class basically and explain the different tropes of this whole genre by using this song. I'm fully convinced. Yes.
I love that. That's great.
The pop punk drums, the chugging, you know, and just like Matt Thiessen's immaculate vocals, also just like that voice. They've got a little witty chorus built in here, cute. You know.
And the surprising, syncopated stop. Yeah. I can't listen to Reliant K without wondering, what did Katy Perry think of this song?
Was this pre or post Katy Perry? I think this is probably
must be post, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be. Yeah. But I think they've stayed friends, right?
And
as far as I understand. Is he going to get to go on Justin's yacht? I wonder, Matt Thiessen. But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was a good one, Kelsey. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to us right toward the end.
Daniel, you had one more pick? Did you?
Yeah.
Do you want to close us out with it?
Sure. So the award is the most sincere sounding Christmas song that's very directly about the birth of Christ from a non-Christian's perspective. That's nice. The award. So it's big. The artist is Big Star, and the song is called Jesus Christ. And so Big Star does have some tie-ins with the Christian music world tangentially. Chris Bell, who was in the band, was openly a very Christian Baptist upbringing. I mean, the band was from Memphis, Tennessee, so right in the heart of the Bible Belt. And their main like studio guy, producer, John Fry, was very Christian. And anyway, so this is from their album Third, which is like actually kind of their darkest album. A lot of people consider it like their masterpiece. And then there's also like some online debate about whether or not this song is sincere or tongue-in-cheek. But to me, when I listen to it, it does sound like he's singing about the birth of Christ very reverentially, very sincerely. But you tell me what you guys think when you hear it.
Lo, they did rejoice, fine and pure of voice, and the wrong shall fail, and the right prevail. Oh, Jesus Christ was born today. Jesus Christ was born. Jesus Christ was
So,
born.
yeah, so that's from 1978.
Okay,
So,
I was going to ask, what's the year on this? Interesting.
Yeah, 78. There's only one person who was involved with any of this who's still living, and that's the drummer, Jody Stevens. He runs a studio in Memphis called Ardent Studios, and he has recorded and produced quite a bit of CCM material.
Oh,
through
right.
that
I didn't
studio.
realize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, that's the connection that to like bring it all back to CCM. I thought of the through line here between this one and Free Design. So
yeah,
That's just a straight up very pretty song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you guys
I mean,
detect sarcasm or insincerity?
Right. No, I don't either. I mean, I also, full disclosure, I did press for the documentary about Big Star. So I normally try to avoid anything that ties back to my work life, but this one I made an
No,
exception.
you did the right thing. I think you did the right thing. That's just like a very beautiful. Daniel, would you be willing to share your playlist with like the rest of us?
Oh yeah, of
based
course.
on your picks, I think that this is my like cookie baking.
Yeah,
like
100%.
list.
I was going to say both of these are going on my
Yeah.
ongoing, like ever-growing list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why this song particularly isn't like a Christmas classic, like staple.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay. Yep.
There's
Merry
another
Christmas to
song
us.
on this album called "Thank You, Friends" that
Yeah.
also gets the rap of like, is it sincere or is it sarcastic?
That one is on my Thanksgiving playlist.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why people think it, other than like this feels irreverent? Was this band like want to do that kind of thing, or?
Alex Chilton, the singer, he had a lot of years when he was an underappreciated genius, and he was going around. He did a lot of concerts and albums that were very sarcastic, that were kind of like, you guys don't appreciate how great I am. long after this era, you know, like we're talking late 80s, 90s kind of era. So he did have some kind of dark period when he was like very acerbic.
Also growing up in Memphis and being surrounded by deeply conservative Christians, I think turned him off to the faith. And I guess like some people may consider him very like anti-religious, but when you hear him sing this song, it's kind of hard to picture that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why there's still ongoing debate. I actually reached out to Jody to see if he would give me a quote for today, but he did not respond. So.
You know, and their bandmate Chris Bell, there was kind of the Lennon McCarthy songwriting between Alex Chilton and Chris Bell. Chris Bell had a solo project called "I Am the Cosmos," which is very like universalist Christian-y. But then he died tragically in a car accident, very young.
Yeah.
So, and he's not around to tell us how they.
And he was not on this song. He had already passed.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one to close out on.
That is gorgeous.
It's a great one to close out on. I love it.
Well, thank you everybody for joining this holiday special. To our guests, Kelsey and Daniel, is there any place you would like to direct listeners to follow your work and see what else you're up to? Kelsey first.
Sure. You can find my writing at christianitytoday.com. I did do a roundup of new Christmas music released this year for a very broad CCM interested audience. I have to say, Daniel, I think your picks are far more interesting than anything I put on there. I mean, I like the music I put on there, but anyway, you can go find most of my writing at christianitytoday.com. I also have a Substack, and I'm active on Instagram and social media just under my name, Kelsey McGinnis.
Yeah, I'll just point people towards my Substack because I need some more people on there and more subscribers. And it's djfalkor.substack.com. So it's FALKOR. And that's where I post all my playlists and stuff like that.
All right, awesome. We'll put a link to your Christmas playlist in the show notes here too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for joining us, listeners. We hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all in the new year. We're going to get working on new episodes as soon as possible. All right. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Let us know what you thought of this episode by leaving a message on our hotline at 629-204-4264. You can also send us an email at rtdrpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts. You can also find us on Substack and Instagram by searching Rock That Doesn't Roll.
And of course, you should give us a rating and review on whatever podcast app you are using to listen right now. Rock That Doesn't Roll is an independent production supported by you, our listeners, and distributed by PRX.
Our original score is by Jim Cooper of Infomercial USA.
I'm Leah Payne, and the show's producer and co-host is the one and only Andrew Gill.
Remember, rock all you want, but watch it if you start to roll.